Should I start now? Okay. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. So my name is Rabeea Mubarak, and I'll be introducing myself a little before I start this session. I'm an MPhil scholar I'm a student from Kinnaird College from Lahore, Pakistan, and I passed my registered dietitian tests recently last year. So I think today is a blessed day and Ramzan is near. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for me. And I thank Ma'am Faiza, Ma'am Maheen, and Ma'am Nosheen for giving me this opportunity to speak on the significance of nutrition choices during the Ramadan season. So we'll start off with the presentation. Okay, so for over 1400 years, the Islamic tradition has followed numerous theories and lifestyle practices, which are now being substantiated by scientific research. So both the nutritionists and dietitians can relate to the fact that we, no matter how much we emphasize on the fact that moderation is key in all aspects of life, it still isn't enough on the food moderation in the fast-paced world of today, where the obesity and other chronic diseases are at a rise. And one of the key factors of these chronic diseases is the disordered eating patterns. So currently, there are two important aspects of healthy eating, simple two aspects of healthy eating, which is getting enough calories and consuming foods from all the 5 food groups to get the required energy and the nutrients needed by the body on a day-to-day basis. The main difference during Ramadan and the normal lifestyle is the number and timing of meals, with 2 main meals, that is the Iftar and Suhoor, and a possible snack called Ghabka. So Ghabka is basically a Ramadan tradition where it's a snack, or no, it's not a snack, it's basically a dinner with family and friends, usually between 10 p.m. to 1 p.m., where families get together and they have a meal or a festive kind of thing. And it's similar to what we call Ramadan Iftar parties here in Pakistan. So looking at potential nutritional benefits, we'll be looking into these are not just baseless statements, but they are based on scientific evidence. So benefits of fasting has been researched for a long period of time, but we'll be focusing particularly for the month of Ramadan. First of all, improved insulin sensitivity, better digestion, and detoxification. All these benefits are related to the gut microbiome, the digestive system. The gut is basically the main, the passage where from where the food goes from the mouth to the stomach. So the main organs of the gut includes the mouth, esophagus, small intestine, large intestine, stomach, rectum, and anus. The microbiome, as the name suggests, is a host or a colony of microorganisms, which include bacteria, fungi, and viruses that protect the gut lining and protect the digestive tract from infections and inflammations. So the bacteria which live inside the gut are known as probiotics. We'll be discussing that further. But the mechanisms related to potential nutritional benefits of insulin, digestion, and detoxification are directly or indirectly related to the function of microorganisms in the gut. Insulin sensitivity is improved. The gut microbiome is responsible for the postprandial glucose, that is after meal glucose levels in blood. Better digestion, which promotes better bowel movements because the fasting during the fasting period, the body and the digestive tract is at rest, and it allows the body to work properly. Detoxification, which is related to the liver. Researchers have shown that it improves liver functions, liver enzymes, and which further leads to decreased risks of liver diseases, such as the main ones being fatty liver disease. So detox, the main function of the liver is to detox. One of the main functions of the liver is to remove the harmful chemicals from the body. So, and the liver is also responsible for all the metabolism of all the food we eat. So the fasting period gives the time for the liver to decrease, as the liver has a decreased load. So it gives the liver the time to, detoxify, to improve, and hence improve metabolism. Some other potential nutritional benefits include the functioning improvement in brain function. Improvement in brain function is related to many mechanisms. One of them being we'll be discussing the fasting physiology further, but if the blood glucose is not in sufficient amount, fats from food are broken down for energy. These broken fats are then taken up by the brain, and they increase the number of brain cells, which then improves alertness and cognition. And it also helps prevent diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's in the long term. Reduces inflammation. Again, inflammation is directly and indirectly related to the gut microbiome. If the colonies, the number of colonies and the quality of the bacteria, healthy bacteria in the gut is normal, it reduces risk of chronic diseases, especially diseases related to the gut. Heart health studies have, researchers have shown that it lowers, heart health is improved during the fasting period, as fasting decreases blood pressure and improves cholesterol and triglyceride levels. Before we move on to what to eat and what not to eat and all those eating options, we'll be looking into fasting physiology, because I think everyone, we won't go into the scientific details, but a brief understanding, I think it's important to everyone. So what happens is, when we consume a meal, carbohydrates from the meal are broken down into simpler form known as glucose. When the glucose, sorry, someone's mic is on. No. Okay, so when we consume a meal, carbohydrates from the meal are broken down into a simpler form known as glucose. This glucose, when it releases in the blood, a hormone called insulin is released from one of the organs known as pancreas. When this insulin is increased, it allows the uptake of glucose. So cells take up glucose for energy and for their proper functioning. Blood insulin therefore decreases because there is not enough glucose left for the uptake by cells. When the blood insulin decreases, this is when this happens during when we are consuming a meal after 6 to 24 hours of fasting. The excess glucose is stored as in the form of glycogen when we are taking a meal. When the glucose has been taken, when all the sufficient glucose is taken by the cells and tissues, the excess is stored in the form of glycogen in the liver. After 6 to 24 hours, when the blood glucose decreases, what happens is the glycogen is broken down for energy. So glycogen is broken down again into glucose. Glucose is released into the blood, and again it is used by energy for energy and normal functioning of the cells. If this glycogen stores remain up to 24 hours in the liver. So when the glycogen stores are depleted or when the stores empty, what happens is glucose and carbohydrates are not an energy source anymore. So what happens is amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins, the intake of proteins, when the proteins are digested into smaller compounds known as amino acids, glucose are made from these amino acids because carbohydrate glucose is not sufficient. This happens in the 24 hours to 2 days fasting period. This is why we say that protein is important in suhoor and iftar both. So glucose levels, when the amino acids are used for glucose, again glucose levels are decreased. because they are uptaken by cells and tissues for the normal functioning. But in the healthy, this fasting physiology is only for the healthy people. We are not talking about chronic diseases such as diabetes and hypertension or other kidney diseases as well. So this happens in a normal healthy person. So glucose levels are decreased but are within the normal range. So hypoglycemia or severe hypoglycemia doesn't happen. Glucose are within the normal range, slightly lower. When proteins are used as fuel and carbohydrates are also used as fuel, and again the glucose levels have been decreased and no protein or carbohydrate is left for the body to be used as energy. The third step is that fats are broken down into energy. This process is called lipolysis. So fats are broken down into energy. When the fats are broken down, they're formed into smaller products known as ketones. These ketones the production of these ketones happens 2 to 3 days of fasting, when fasting 2 to 3 days continuously. Once these ketones are formed, they are uptaken by a brain for energy. So by the time you are fasting for 5 days or more, 75% or more of the ketones are used by the body, and only fat is used as fuel. So it's a good a season to good month to reduce weight also. This was an quote by Sheikh Riyadul Haq, and I think it beautifully fits into what Islam says, what our religion says, and what scientific research says. So he said that one of the spiritual benefits of a proper fast is that it creates a higher level of consciousness and awareness of Allah. So if you look at consciousness and awareness, we have discussed before how brain functioning improves during fasting. So I think spiritual and scientific, if we both combine these together, I think they're a beautiful balance. Okay, so one problem in Ramadan is the problem of overfeeding. People tend to eat a lot, or they tend to eat only once, and they tend to eat a lot. So this results in overweight and indigestion problems. So these are some of the common problems related to overeating are constipation, indigestion, low blood pressure, headache, and low blood sugars. So if we eliminate the cause of these problems, I think we can find the solution easily. For example, people tend to consume water and fiber foods less. So this results in constipation. They tend to eat heavy, fatty and fried foods, which results in bloating, because fatty and fried foods have a longer stay time in the stomach. So indigestion and bloating are a common problem, especially during Iftar. Low blood pressure, because again, the intake of fluids is less. And I cannot say that the intake of salt is less, because fortunately or unfortunately, to enhance the flavors of food, we do add lots of salt in our foods. So this increases the thirst during the fasting period. And headaches also, again, caffeine and tobacco due to caffeine and tobacco withdrawal, headaches usually happen. And I've seen people who they drink tea throughout, from iftar to sehri. They'll drink tea or coffee in suhoor, they'll drink before suhoor, they'll drink in the at midnight, they'll drink it at iftar, they'll drink after tarawih. So at least 5 to 6 glasses of tea or caffeine is consumed, especially in the Pakistani population. And low blood sugar is one of the causes of low blood sugar is excessive sugar intake. What happens is when you take excess of sugar, for example, desserts or sweetened juices in iftar, usually we drink during iftar, we eat sugars during iftar, the blood insulin levels spike suddenly. When the blood insulin levels spike suddenly, the glucose is rapidly absorbed into the cells and tissues. When the glucose is rapidly absorbed, the blood glucose level drops, and then again we'll be hungry, and the low blood sugar will lead to dizziness and tiredness throughout the day. Mindful nutritionists and dietitians, I think good nutritionists and dietitians have focused have emphasized a lot over mindful eating. What mindful eating is, that you include all the physical and emotional senses to enjoy the food choices you make. And this mindful eating is used along with some strategies. For example, you remove all the screens available. You don't have any distractions of screens or mobile phones. You eat, you chew the food properly, at least 20 for one bite. Sorry, at least for one bite, you have to chew at least 20 times. And the finishing time of a meal, of a whole meal at a time, should take around 20 to 30 minutes. So you eat slowly, you enjoy, and the digestion process is proper. If you intake a lot of food and you eat fast, the food is not digested properly, starting from the mouth itself. So it won't, you'll be having bloating problems, you'll be having gas and all the constipation, all the indigestion issues. So it is, recommended to, and it has been, you need to be aware that it needs about 20 minutes to register that registered by the body that it has had enough to eat. And it also takes some time for the hormonal processes to kick in. So what happens is a hormone called leptin, which is also known as an I'm full hormone. So it sends a signal to the brain that the body has had enough of food. So you need to stop eating. So the person stops eating. So all of this takes time. So at least 20 minutes to register that it has had enough food to eat. So you need to give some rest. So it is recommended that you have a light iftar. You don't eat suddenly, you have a light iftar, and then after Maghrib, you eat a whole meal. Eating mindfully and listening for when your hunger is actually satisfied, it puts less strain on your body and gives you more energy. It keeps you more alert and active than eating huge amounts at one time. Suhoor, the importance of suhoor is equally important, or it can be equally related to the importance of breakfast. Importance of breakfast has been researched a lot. It has proven to be very beneficial in all aspects, physiological aspects, your lifestyle improvements. Suhoor has a similar nutritional value as a regular breakfast meal consumed outside of Ramadan. So as per the Islamic traditions, as per the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and as per scientific evidence also, all of these, they advise delaying the suhoor meal as much as we can. So shortly before dawn doesn't mean you eat 5 minutes before Fajr. It means at least 30 to 1 hour before you can eat, and it's okay. You'll feel less hungry. People tend to eat till 1 o'clock, they'll sleep at 1 o'clock, and then what they do is they'll get hungry the entire day because they have to work, they have to carry out the normal activities, they have to go to colleges, institutes, and they have to work, they have to come home and do the household chores. So it takes a lot of physical effort also. So eating at 1 p.m. and then not eating, it increases the fasting period, and as a result you'll be hungry and thirsty throughout the day. It is recommended to include a variety of food groups with an emphasis on fruits, vegetables, milk, and yogurt. So the main five food groups are your carbohydrates, that is your cereals, rice, bread. Then comes your fruits and vegetables, then meat and dairy, and then a little amount of good fats. Avoiding sugary, salty, heavy, and fatty meals is recommended. Once or twice or a small portion is okay for your satisfaction, it's okay, but eating regularly, consuming it on a regular basis, consuming it in suhoor and iftar, that becomes a problem. Then you will feel tired, you will feel lazy, and you will feel all the indigestion system problems. Staying well hydrated is very crucial during Ramadan, especially if the Ramadan is in the summer season. So people tend to drink water less, and they tend to drink other sugary drinks more, which just increases the glucose levels and nothing else. The hydration is not sufficient with the sweetened drinks, especially. Some of the suhoor options would be low-fat milk, water-rich foods, including soup or yogurt, milk or simple water. Dates and dried fruits are a good option because the dates, they'll keep your energy levels throughout the day. They are rich sources of glucose, so they'll keep you, they keep your energy levels up the whole day. And both dates and dry fruits, so 1 to 2 dates in suhoor is a good option. Also, they'll keep your glucose levels normal. Apart from these, rice, whole wheat chapati and whole wheat bread are also a good option. You combine these with fruits and not fruits, vegetables and low fat meat, which includes fish and poultry. If you combine this with a regular salan in Pakistan, so a combination of vegetables and meat is a good option with rice or chapati, or bread with eggs is also a simple but a good option. Oats, lentils and chickpeas lentils and chickpeas both are rich in proteins, so again protein is necessary to keep the satiety till of iftar, so you won't feel hungry. Oats, whole wheat oats are a good option. You can combine whole wheat oats with dates and nuts and seeds. So there are many recipes where oats have making oats have been modified. They have included nuts. I've seen oats with meat also. That was quite interesting for me. So oats with nuts, seeds, and dates are a common and a good option. Namis is also another option. It's a Arabic tradition. I think if there's some Middle Eastern audience, they would know better. It's basically a drink, a raisin or a date drink. What they do is, and we can also try this at home. It is also a good thing for suhoor, because it will keep the energy levels because of the dates, and it'll keep you hydrated because of the water. So you soak dates in water, or you soak raisins in water overnight, keep it overnight. You remove the seeds from the dates, and you just grind the mixture along with the dates, and then you drink this drink. So it's a good option to keep your energy levels, keep your glucose levels normal, and keep you hydrated throughout the day. Peanut butter is also a good option, rich in energy and rich in fats and proteins. These are some of other whole meal options during breakfast, which would include oatmeal or whole grain cereals uh, made in low fat milk and topped with fruits and nuts, as just discussed earlier. A piece of whole grain toast with a boiled egg and a piece of fruit. It contains the three main food groups is already included here. A peanut butter sandwich on whole grain bread and a glass of low fat milk is also a good option. These are some other options. You can make salads, including mixed vegetables, olive oil, and canned tuna. Good fats and vegetable. Food groups are covered here. A bowl of vegetable soup, a piece of whole grain toast, and a glass of whole wheat milk are also good options. Am I audible? Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen. Okay, so some tips for iftar. We have looked into some options for suhoor. The same can be applied for iftar also. As per Islamic traditions and as per scientific evidence, you have, before Maghrib, your glucose level drops to a significant amount. So you start with 2 to 3 pieces of dates so that your glucose levels can become normal again. Apart from dates, you can drink a glass of low fat milk or water is more preferable than low fat milk personally, I think, because even in low fat milk, it would be a little heavy at iftar time because the body is already starving for a period of 8 to 12 hours. So start with something light, and then uh, we could move to full fat or good fat meal. Juices are recommended between iftar and suhoor meals, but they're not recommended in large amounts. One glass or 1 cup is sufficient, and it's not necessary to drink juices throughout Ramadan. You drink healthy drinks such as milk is a good option, and what else? Laban, the lassi what we say lassi in Pakistan, that is a good option too. We can continue our meal after Maghrib. The main meal after Maghrib, and the main meal would be a combination of all food groups, as discussed for suhoor also. Fresh fruits and vegetables are a good option for the iftar time when you break your fast. So you will be you will be hydrated. You know, you'll be hydrated. You will feel light on the stomach, and it will be good to have a meal after Maghrib. Avoiding fatty and fried foods again in iftar. Soups and salads are also a good option. They can be taken at the iftar time. Proteins in major meals is necessary, because or if the proteins are not in the amounts required, you will face problems with, you will have weight loss to a significant level and may have nutritional deficiencies also, along with malnutrition. Complex carbs are also important in suhoor and iftar. As I said, whole wheats are a good option. Whole wheats and fruits and vegetables are a good option. You have to monitor your fiber intake also, so that you avoid, fiber also gives a feeling of satiety and a feeling of fullness, and it improves your bowel movements and reduces the risk of constipation and bloating. So complex carbs and fibers, they release glucose slowly and consistently throughout the period of fasting. So it's a good option to for suhoor. So your glucose won't decrease to much, and you will remain active throughout the day. These are the general what you can say summary of what some tips for a healthy eating. You eat slow, such mindful eating, we have discussed that earlier, especially at iftar to avoid indigestion. Fiber rich foods are necessary. Avoid eating foods that are high in sugar or deep fried. Oven baking or air frying is a good option. You can grill or stir fry or steam vegetables. Drink plenty of water. With meals is not recommended. I would recommend drinking water before or after meals, 15 to 30 minutes before or after meals. Avoid consuming coffee or tea before fasting. Before fasting, but 1 cup is enough. I think 1 cup doesn't give the side effects as drinking 7 to 8 cups between iftar and suhoor. So 1 cup is enough, and it's okay if you drink before fasting. This is the Ramadan nutrition plate. The International Diabetes Federation has built this in 2016, and this is what your Ramadan plate should look like. You can add a variety of food from each of the food groups, but this should be the normal portion for each food. So you have a quarter, this is your whole, if you look at this, the whole plate would, you divide the plate into 4 parts. One part should contain vegetables, one part should contain rice or other cereals, one part should contain lean meat, and the fourth part should contain beans, lentils or peas. Apart from that, you need to have 2 teaspoons of oil or nuts, your choice, 1 glass of low fat milk from the milk and dairy food group, 1 to 2 dates is because of the significance of it has on the glucose blood sugar levels, and a small slice of watermelon is just an example. You can add more, you can substitute this for more for some other foods. The cantaloupe and the other types of melon are also a good option. Berries are a good option. We have kiwis nowadays, that's a good option this season. So you can add variety, you should add variety, but your portion control should be equally important. We'll be discussing portion control now. Portion control is the most important part of Ramadan. This means eating small portions, but to include all major food groups like fruits and vegetables, bread, cereals, and potatoes, meat, lentils, and pulses, dairy foods, and healthy fats. Portion control can be done by the use of the Ramadan nutrition plate. We have the My Plate, which is a similar concept to the Ramadan nutrition plate, but the division of the plate is a bit different. It includes half a plate of fruits and vegetables, a quarter plate of whole grain, and a quarter plate of milk alongside a quarter plate of whole grain cereals, and a quarter part of proteins alongside dairy. So this is another option. This can be used for all those who do not have measuring cups or measuring instruments at home for measuring food. And measuring food can sometimes be a bit, hectic, and can put a lot of pressure, emotionally also. So a good idea for all the for all those for all of us would be a simple rule of thumb, which include the hand concept. You can see a palm of hand should be of meat and beans. A full hand should include fish or chicken. Fruits should be a palm of a hand should be equal to 1 serving. Vegetables should be in a portion equal to 2 palms of your hand. Cheese should be similar to 2 fingers, the size of 2 fingers, and butter should be a teaspoon of butter or a teaspoon of oil is enough for your fat requirements. Some other common you can say recipes could include chickpea salads with kebabs, lentil soup, simple recipes. Mostly these simple nutritious foods are basically the ones that are more easy to make, that are more affordable, that can be used on a day-to-day basis, that can be modified, and they're mostly the right kind. So it's lentil sauce, baked chicken and fish is one good option. Chicken salads are a good option. Halim is a Pakistani traditional dish made from lentils and combination of lentils and meat. So a non-heme iron and a good combination of heme and non-heme iron, provided that the added oil is in appropriate amounts. Combination of vegetables and meat, again, you can add vegetables and you can cook vegetables and meat together, or lentils and meat can be combined together. Dates and nut smoothies can be a good option for those who have in countries with longer fasting hours, plus those who have added physiological pressures, or those who work physically more. Laban is an excellent option, I think, provided that it is made of low-fat milk and without added sugars. Unfortunately, we do not consume a Laban without sugar. So, but I think it's a good option. It provides probiotics, as we have discussed before. Healthy bacteria are present if you make it at home, especially, and it has it has significant amount of energy, proteins, and carbs. Coconut water is also a good option, but it's a little sweet, so you use in moderation. Milk sodas are also a good option. I've been seeing my senior teachers, they have researched a lot on milk sodas. There had been controversies before where they said that milk sodas are not a good option. They, you know, they have they have in that people who drink milk sodas have, you know, issues related to digestion, but and they do not, you know, retain the nutritional qualities of milk are not retained in sodas. But now researchers are showing that milk sodas inappropriate. Again, portion control is important. You drink milk soda one or two one glass a day is okay. It's not, you know, you retain the nutritional quality of milk is retained. There's nothing nothing bad about it, or there are no side effects to it. Falafel are also a good option. I think in the I've been in the Middle East for over 15 years of my life, and I think this is the best, if you know, option. It can be made. It is usually fried in heavy in huge amounts of oil, but it can be modified. It can be baked also. So that baking is also a good option. If you remove the oil, falafel are a good option. Baba Ganoush is again an Arabic tradition, Arabic dish. It's similar to hummus, but the main difference is it is made of roasted eggplants. So it's also a kind of paste where you can you can consume it with bread. Kibba is also a kind of kebab made with bulgur wheat, and alongside bulgur wheat we have what we could say lentils and herbs. Probiotics we have already discussed before. The healthy gut bacteria are basically the probiotics that are naturally present in our bodies. They have significant contributions in terms of health benefits, and researchers are heavily interested these days. I have seen lots of research done on probiotics in various capacities. So probiotics are mainly live organisms, and they are beneficial bacteria in the gut. They alleviate the symptoms of digestive discomfort such as bloating and constipation. And bloating and constipation, they mainly occur during Ramadan due to the changes in eating patterns. So it's common, but if you eat the right amount of food, the right quality of food, and the timing of food is right, you won't face these problems. Some natural sources of probiotics which can be made at home are these. One of which is kanji. Kanji is a drink made from carrot juices, and some herbs and spices are added to it. Sauerkraut is fermented cabbage. Chatti ki lassi is a traditional Pakistani drink that is still being consumed in rural areas, and it involves making it's similar to lassi is similar to is the same as leban. So the difference is they are made in sand pots, and they are stirred and you know, fermented by the use of a stick and hand. Yogurt, everyone knows yogurt is a good probiotic option. Apple cider vinegar drink is not a probiotic. Apple cider vinegar itself is a fermented beverage. So, but it cannot be considered as a probiotic because there are insufficient evidence which says that which can conclude that the bacteria in the fermented apple cider vinegar, they can survive the digestion process. If they survive the digestion process and they survive and stay in the the large intestine, then we could say that it's a fermented that it could be a source of probiotic, but there are insufficient evidences for that. Staying hydrated is the most important. We often tend to neglect hydration, and especially if the Ramadan month is during the winters. So you can, you know, even as the feeling of thirst itself is a sign that you're already dehydrated. So it is recommended to at least drink 8 to 10 glasses of water daily. You cannot drink 8 to 10 glasses at a single time. You can divide it properly. During sahur, you can drink 2 cups. During iftar, you can drink 1 or 2 glasses. After Maghrib or before, so not before Maghrib, after Maghrib, you can drink a glass of water. Even after Isha prayer, Isha and Tarawih prayers go together. So 1 glass at Isha prayer, 2 glasses between the Tarawih prayer. When you it is, I think it's a good effort by the Middle Eastern mosques, where they usually keep water at every saf, so that you can drink water whenever you can, whenever between the Tarawih prayer, and before going to sleep you drink 1 or 2 glasses. So the total, if you count it, if you divide these water intake, you'll get 8 to 10 glasses of water daily. The requirement is fulfilled. Then you will be dehydrated. You will be hydrated, and you won't have feel thirst as often. For those who exercise exercising in Ramadan is a good option, but you need to know when and what exercises to do. The best time is 2 hours after iftar. It is not recommended to exercise during the period of fasting, as glucose levels are already low. So you can face hypoglycemia, especially when you exercise intensively. So the best time is 2 hours after iftar. Good options are brisk walking and swimming. You can do cycling as well. Pilates and yogas are also a good option. A simple, light exercises are okay if your body is already fueled in iftar, so you have ample amount of energy to exercise. So, and making it fun, involving friends and family members is a good option. Lastly, I would like to end this with a quote again. I love quotes, so I've added it everywhere. I thought that it could benefit. Fasting is first and foremost an exercise for identifying and managing adversity in all its forms. With faith and full conscience, fasting calls women and men to an extra degree of self-awareness. To fast is to identify our dependencies. In this case, the dependencies are the unhealthy food and unhealthy dietary practices, and free ourselves from them. And this is a quote from Tariq Ramadan. May Allah grant us the ability to reach Ramadan. Any questions we have? Okay, so we have a few questions. Ma'am Mahin, can you tell me how much time is left?
We have 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, so we have 10 to 15 minutes, so we can cover, the questions. Someone has asked, I wait for Ramadan for quick weight loss. How can I help my diet to help me lose weight faster? So quick weight loss doesn't, work well every time. You tend to gain double the weight when you lose weight faster. That's a common, that should be understood. That quick weight loss is never a healthy option. You can help, you again, portion control. 3 things are important for weight loss. Sorry, 4 things I should say. Portion control, how much you eat, the quality of food you eat, the timings you eat, and the exercise you do. So all these 4 points are equally important. If if you do not work on the portion size, or if you eat larger portions one at a time, and you say that I'll eat only 1 time a day, and I'll eat 1 time a day, and then I'll lose weight faster. That's not, you tend to overeat in that particular period. And what happens is the body strives, the body is in hunger state throughout the day, and then you'll feel more hungry, and then again you will tend to eat more. Again, overeating and overfeeding come the concept of overfeeding and overeating comes here. So the best option, the best way to help weight loss is, you focus on the portion control, portion size. You take food varieties. You focus on food groups. You include all the food groups. Fresh fruits and vegetables are a good option for weight loss. Avoid too much oil or fatty foods. Once or twice a month or twice a week, it's okay, but eating at continuously and in every meal is not a good option. Is Ramadan fasting a form of intermittent fasting? I cannot say that it's a form of intermittent fasting. There are many factors that come into play. There are many types of intermittent fasting, and intermittent fasting do include the consuming of beverages also, only beverages. So coffee or water can be drunk in intermittent fasting, but it is not allowed in Ramadan. The concept is similar in terms that you fast for a particular amount of period, and then you close the window, or you restrict the eating window in terms of timings, and then you break your fast. So that portion is similar, but it is not exactly similar to intermittent fasting, or it cannot be said that it is a form of intermittent fasting. Also, it includes religious and spiritual aspects as well. So this can also so it is, I don't think it's a form of intermittent fasting. There are some significant differences. Okay, how can I change my normal home meal to the meal that can help me to lose bloating from my body? Normal home meal should include fresh fruits and vegetables, as discussed earlier. Fiber intake, and along with fiber intake, intake of water is equally important. So if you increase your even if you increase your fiber intake, but you are dehydrated and you do not fulfill your water requirements, bloating and constipation become a problem. Also, the second, again, portion control comes into play. Portion control of chapatis, especially for those, this is a question from Pakistan, from Karachi, so I'm focusing on the Pakistan aspects. For those who eat chapati, the normal size of chapati in today's households are from 9 to 12 inches. 12 inches is a big size of a chapati. You can do it in half, or you can eat a smaller portion of chapati. Complex carbs are again a healthy option. Increase your fiber, in summary, you should increase your fiber intake and water intake. Our next question is from Lebanon. I wait for Ramadan for a quick weight loss. Okay, this is already answered. I think these all are already answered. Any more questions you'd like to ask? I think that's it. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.